Hey everyone, welcome to the final lecture of Chapter 9, and today we're talking about present passive infinitives. Okay, so we've learned that the active infinitive is the second principal part. So let's review that. Present active infinitive equals the second principal part of any verb. Okay, so here's an example. Alright, so amare, to love. Videre, to see. Agere, to drive. Audire, to hear. Okay, so those are all four conjugations. So that's the present active infinitive. To form the present passive infinitive is pretty simple. So if you have a first conjugation verb such as amare, what you're going to do is drop the final E and then add I. So amare will become amari, which would be translated as to be loved. Okay, same thing with second conjugation. If we have an infinitive, docere, and we wanted to change this to passive, we would take off the final E, and then we would simply add an I. So docere would become docere, and that would be to be taught. Okay, I'm going to skip over third conjugation because, as we know, third conjugation sometimes causes issues and it's not completely like the other conjugation. So we're going to go to fourth conjugation. And so audire ends in ire. Take off the final E and add an I. So audiri, and that would mean to be heard. Okay, and now we'll come back to third conjugation. So if we have a verb like peto, petere would be the active infinitive. Now to change this one to passive, we're going to take away the whole ere, just like we did when we conjugated it in the present tense, and we're going to add an I. So the passive of petere would be peti, and that would mean to be sought. Peto means to seek. Petere means to seek. Okay, so now let's put all of these together in a chart. And so we'll do first, second, third, and fourth conjugation. And we'll do active here and passive over here. Okay, so starting with first conjugation. So active example would be vocare, and the passive would be vocari. Okay, so all we do is change the final E to an I. Okay, second conjugation. Docere would become doceri. Okay, again, just take off the E and add I. For third conjugation, petere would become peti. So here we have to take away the whole ere and add I. That's the only one that's different from the other conjugations. And then fourth conjugation, audire would become audiri. Okay, and that's how you form the passive infinitive for each of the conjugations. And so if we just translate these real quick, vocare would be to call, vocari to be called. Okay, docere would be to teach. Docere, to be taught. Okay, petere, to seek. Peti, to be sought. Audire, to hear. And audiri, to be heard. Okay, and that's how you form the present passive infinitive for each of the conjugations. And you can find this in your book on page 102. There's one more thing that you can find in your book on page 102 that I want to cover right now, and that is the gender of an infinitive. Okay, the gender of an infinitive is neuter. Okay, and the reason why that's important is sometimes these will be used independently. And so here's an example of using an infinitive as neuter. Okay. Amare est bonum. Okay, and so we would translate that as to love is good. That is, it's a good thing to love. Okay, notice how bonum is neuter because the gender of the infinitive is neuter, right? This is a linking verb, and that means that bonum is a predicate nominative, and the reason why it's neuter is because it has to match the gender of the infinitive, which is, of course, neuter. Okay, so sometimes you'll see this and just know that the infinitive is going to be neuter in gender if you have to use a predicate nominative with it. Okay, and that's it for this lecture, and thanks for tuning in, and see you next time.